It has been 1 year, 1 month, and 1 day since the WWE performed in front of a live crowd. Drew McIntyre fights to capture the WrestleMania moment that was taken away from him in an empty arena a year ago. Braun Strowman takes a stand for anyone who has ever been called stupid. Bad Bunny teams with Damien Priest, and Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair make history. It's time to rewatch and review WrestleMania 37 as we rewind the Bloodline. Before we get started, thank you all for following along with us for these last 24 weeks. We are at episode 25, and because it's WrestleMania, we thought we'd detour from our main topic on the channel and let's review night one of WrestleMania 37. And next week, we'll be back to our regularly scheduled programming of the Bloodline for night two. So if you're new, please make sure that you acknowledge us and you check out the other episodes on the channel and follow along as we take you through the complete Bloodline saga. But Goose, we've made it. It has been a journey from SummerSlam 2020 to WrestleMania 37. So let's get this thing kicked off.
And we start WrestleMania 37 in a rain delay. So we waited all this time to have people in the crowd, and the big voice starts over.
The WWE Universe has waited patiently.
And the voiceover continues, and then we get The Rock saying, like over and over and over again. And we get the crowd shots and all the cuts of wrestlers, Lashley, AJ, Mercedes. And the big voice comes over, tonight, for only the second time.
Only the second time.
High stake adventure that is bigger than
the history of history.
And I really liked how they did that.
You liked it, but I rolled my eyes when they said that because there is so much Vince on this show. We're going to get into it, but there is Vince littered all over this thing, dude.
Yeah, I like that part. I can't lie. I can't lie. They did it and I chuckled.
We get an awesome graphic of Roman and a Kraken, Drew, Seth, and Kofi as well. Michael Cole's voiceover of
A night heroes are created.
We get more clips of Hogan and Andre, the boyhood dream, Rock and Cena. And then we get the big thank you to the fans. And we get some more clips of all the folks in all the matches. And this is just a great video package to start the show, minus the history of history part. Like, I didn't like that, but the rest of this was really good.
Mongoose bumping to start this. I thought this was really well done. So Cole says,
For the first time in 1 year,
we welcome fans back.
we'll have to pause for a weather delay here in Tampa Bay.
So Shane is, dude, they go backstage and he is so red. He's fuchsia already. He says he has goosebumps. He's been calling Braun stupid, but he says that Braun is not stupid for asking for a cage match. He gets cut off by MVP and Bobby Lashley. McIntyre then comes out. He argues back and forth with Lashley and MVP, and they're going to open the show. And dude, Drew cuts one heck of a promo backstage.
I completely agree. I loved his promo. It was really great. But the rest of this rain delay was promos and interviews with New Day, Big E, Braun, KO. We get Bianca and we get Miz and Morrison. I can't wait to talk about that match later.
We get a lot of Miz and Morrison tonight.
Oh, yes. But one thing I have to say is that JBL is the biggest liar alive talking about the energy in the stadium. They kept trying to put over the energy in the stadium and the fans. And like, we have to be honest, like this thing was not packed out. Like people were spaced out. There were cardboard cutouts on the seats. Like it was a little much. They were throwing.
Right. And we talked just a couple of weeks ago that they initially were going to open 40,000 seats for this. And it's sold out. It is sold out, but it's only 25,000. So that was sort of the happy medium that they had there. So the stadium's a third full, something like that.
Yeah. But the highlight of all of this, and probably the highlight of this entire WrestleMania, is Samoa Joe and Michael Cole in ponchos.
And I'll tell you, we are in a weather delay for WrestleMania, but we are.
This was incredible. It's an unforgettable moment, and I loved it. But the absolute low light of this entire thing was Cole's lame WrestleMania joke. Like, my God, who fed him that line?
I hope it was fed. I can, for his sake, I can only hope that it was fed. So after 30 minutes or so, we get into the night one intro, and holy crap, dude, Vince comes out. Vince McMahon is out. All the superstars are out. And personally, I thought he did an awesome job. Like, I got to give credit where it's due. We are at the Vince stage where all he does is grumble and mumble. Like, all of his words sound like, but I really thought he did a great job in getting you fired up. Welcome to WrestleMania. So kudos here.
You're on one side, I'm on the other side, because I felt like it came off really fake and it just felt weird. I have to say that it does feel weird seeing fans after all this time. Like, we've been looking at a lot of screens in the Thunderdome, but the pirate ship was awesome. This set is almost an all-timer for me. It's up there. It's really good.
With a packed house, you're right. This would have been upper echelon had we had everybody there.
Yeah.
I digress though. So I need to immediately pivot to, we go to seeing all of BB Rexa. All of her was put out there. And my God, she didn't sound the greatest, but green shirt guy is here. We can mark WrestleMania 37 2021 as possibly the beginning of green shirt guy.
I don't remember seeing him before that.
No, and here's the crazy thing. He's subdued. He's standing up during the national anthem, and then he just sits away for the rest of the show. They keep going to, and I'm like, my God, dude, you're going to be like in everything ever for the next 5 years.
And we're going to talk about it here eventually on the channel.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So the main show starts off with the same video that we saw at the start of the rain delay, which is awesome. Why not play it twice? And it's finally time.
Snickers presents
the Global Entertainment Spectacular
WrestleMania.
And as excited as I was, it did seem sadly quiet to start, but we have to take into account too, it was pouring rain. So, and we start with our host, the 2021 Warrior Award winner and WWE Global Ambassador, Titus O'Neil, and the two-time WWE Hall of Famer, Hulk Hogan, brother. And like, as I said, like, the fans aren't particularly loud, but seeing Hulk in the red and yellow get up and like the red and yellow, everything around him, and he's just in a black bandana, I felt that was a little weird. I'm sure it's because of the Hall of Fame deal, but I hope it was because the red and yellow one got wet in the rain and he didn't want to walk out there with a
right. Yeah, he just could be out there chrome doming. You know what I'm saying? He had the yellow one on.
This white one doesn't work for me, brother.
So Hogan is just waiting to talk, and that's what I loved about it. Yeah. Titus is putting everything over, and he's firing everyone up, and you can see Hulk is just, he's waiting to go.
He kept leaning with the mic. He just wanted to go.
Oh, for sure, dude, for sure. So Hogan's putting over Lashley, and I really did. I thought they were going to have Hulk put over Lashley while Titus put over Drew, and I'd have died. Let's fix it now, brother. So they got done with all this, dude, and literally the wife sitting next to me, she just goes, "No, that was lame." And I was like, "Well, yeah, you weren't wrong."
Yeah. So our first match of the night was Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship, and this promo has Lashley beating Miz for the title, and then a Retribution guy and Jeff Hardy. What a murderer's row of randos.
Yeah, you got that right.
I couldn't stop laughing during this video package because Miz had the belt and they were like, hell no, we're not returning to fans with the Miz as champion. We got to get it off of him.
It wasn't like they didn't dangle it though. Like, what a terrible idea, man. So we get a very interesting promo here with all of the people that are sprinkled in. Miz, King Corbin, like, this is a murderer's row of like, what are we doing, right? So Drew comes out, he sticks Bessie or whatever the sword's name is into the ground, and we're back, right? So Drew looks great. So Lashley's Titantron video, I loved it. It's just him crushing all the nerds from the pre-match video. So they just put that right on the screen. So same thing, geek, 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 King Lashley.
Michael Cole says Lashley has been as dominant as any champion in memory, and we have literally not been watching Raw, but who did this guy ever beat? Like, you're literally showing nobodies on the screen.
And we just saw them all in the promo package.
Right. So we get to see these big, meaty men literally lock up, and it is the perfect visual for fans coming off of a year of a lockout. Like, I don't know how they could have done this any better.
This is much more of a match than I expected. There's a lot of brawling, strikes, lockups, things like that in the beginning. I expected power move, near falls. You know what I'm saying? All those things right away. Lashley actually getting the heat on McIntyre for a while was interesting. Throws him into the barricade, gives him the neck breaker, choke on the ropes, all of that. Drew then posts Lashley shoulder first and goes for an armbar. Like, I'm so used to these big guys doing big moves, and it's interesting to see we're having a wrestling match right now.
And then Lashley gets the heat again. He shoulders into the midsection, into the corner. Drew starts his comeback, and the belly to bellies were awesome. Both of these guys have near falls, and one is with Drew with the Northern Light suplex, and then Lashley with a driver. But interestingly, no one has hit a finisher yet.
And just as you say that, Lashley chokeslams Drew for 2. Awesome near fall here. Drew then hits an Alabama slam. McIntyre then gets a Kimura into the ropes. And right now we have MMA McIntyre. McIntyre, man. I love it.
Yes, McIntyre goes for a Claymore. He runs into a choke slam. He kicks up, and now he's on a full Hogan comeback, and Lashley immediately cuts him off. Drew then hits three future shock DDTs, and Lashley kicks out. If I was one thing I could change about this match, it would be that, because I hated that.
Right. 1, good near fall. Even 2, good near fall. 3, like, that's the Cody Rhodes, man. 3 crossroads, you're done. I agree.
So later on, Drew counts down for a Claymore. Lashley ducks out, and Drew hits a huge dive over the top rope onto Lashley and MVP, and the crowd actually did explode for this, and it was an awesome spot. Totally worth it.
Yeah, Lashley almost gets a hurt lock in twice. Drew runs Lashley into the turnbuckle. Drew then rolls him into a Kimura. Lashley teases the tap, but gets the ropes. Drew goes for a Claymore. MVP then just screams at him to distract him. He misses. Lashley gets the hurt lock. Drew's fighting. He uses the turnbuckle for the Steve Austin Bret Hart pin. And Lashley rolls out, dude, and he wins. Drew passed out.
I didn't see that coming. Like, we were having such a great match, and then that.
Right. So I thought this was solid. Yeah. And it was wrestled. I wasn't expecting that. And it was wrestled well. So 4-star match for me, title match to open the show. What are your thoughts, brother?
Well, literally no surprise here. Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley, they have a great match. I'm not taking anything away from that. But I personally felt like Drew is so underrated here at this point in time. And even in current day, like, we're going to look back and we're going to see his body of work. And we're going to see how awesome this guy has been for a really long time. And even though he's playing a baby face here, he's not a natural baby face, but he gets it. And I couldn't believe that Bobby kicked out of those DDTs. Like, that made me so angry, but these guys beat the tar out of each other. And I couldn't believe they didn't give Drew his win after 36. Like, I couldn't believe that. I was genuinely stunned when the ref called the match, but I'm giving it 4 stars. I thought that this was a good way to come out of the rain delay promo. First thing that we see with fans back. I thought it was great. 4 stars.
Yeah. Meltzer gave it 3 3/4 in the Observer. The match finished 4th in the best match poll for the night. I just couldn't get over how Vince it was. That the best way to come back is to have Drew have his moment. Not yet, pal.
Right.
So we go backstage, and Hogan, Scott Hall in the biggest neck of a t-shirt you're ever going to see is there, as well as X-Pac, Nash, and Titus O'Neil. They get interrupted by Bayley. And I could just picture Kevin Nash here being like, never had a problem with Bayley.
Yes. Whoever cut Hall's shirt needs to be evaluated because they were not in their right mind when they cut that. It was so big. It literally looked like he was wearing an Afghan out there.
Yeah, dude. Hey, we're going to give you a big t-shirt and we're just going to get all the neck out of there. We want to see your collarbone, Scott.
Oh, but our next match of the night is the women's tag team turmoil match. We get Lana and Naomi out first. If I wasn't watching SmackDown, I would have been completely gobsmacked by this team. I literally couldn't believe it when I saw it. Carmella and Billie Kay, they're out second. Billie Kay has been handing out her headshots for weeks on SmackDown. Carmella lost to Reginald, but gained to Billie. So Billie Kay and Carmella win the first fall, and it wasn't bad.
Yeah, Liv and Ruby Riott are out next. And man, it's wild to see how far Liv has come here.
Yeah.
I do really like the Joker and Harley gear. Ruby's in the Joker gear and, of course, in the Harley Quinn gear. The crowd is not very loud. And so all I can hear is Billie Kay and Carmella screaming.
It's their potential here in WWE. The Riott Squad.
And I really can't stand either of those two things, man. Like, it's really getting annoying. The Riott Squad win with the Codebreaker Senton combo. Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke are then out next. And if memory serves, one of them bited here in the entrance. Bingo! It was Mandy Rose that slid on skates and fell on her rear. But Total Pro, man, you wouldn't have known it. Like the way they cut it, she's right back, right up in the ring. So good on her.
Mandy went to run up the ropes and Liv completely caught her and held her up. Dana then hits a swanton with the top of her head only. She goes for the pin. Liv rolls her over and pins her. And the announcer says the Riott Squad has been eliminated.
Correction, Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke have been eliminated.
Like, he has to correct himself. This was just a very awkward moment. This is a weird sequence in the match. And you can tell they really messed up here. So our next team out is Natalya and Tamina.
And Natalya goes to put Liv in a sharpshooter. Liv immediately small packages her. And right here, dude, I just wish that was the finish. Like, we got right to it. Yeah. But I loved that once they did that, Natty's first move's a sharpshooter. And she's in all pink and black. And while this is going on, Michael Cole says,
Natalya says it's time that we no longer live off our family's names.
It's like, well, that's literally all you're doing here.
Right. So the Riott Squad does some kind of double team stuff. And Graves says,
right into the midsection of Tamina. That was unique.
They hit their Codebreaker Senton combo, but Tamina kicks out of that. Natty tags in. They hit a heart attack. And then she's going for a sharpshooter, but instead she sends Tamina up to the top. She tags Tamina in. Tamina hits a superfly splash for the win. But remember, it's time to no longer live on Please name. Like, what are we doing? Like, we're still doing it. And that was the finish.
Yep.
I mean, this was sloppy at times, but I mean, I'm glad that all of these women got their chance to be on Mania, especially after all this time, not in front of fans. Like, I'm happy they all got out there, but this one gets 2 stars for me.
Yeah, 2 stars for me as well for the overall match. Not Mania quality, but I've seen worse, so I can't bury it too bad. I definitely went longer than it needed to as far as the segment goes. I don't even know if it went on that long. That's what's bad about it.
Right.
In the Observer, this finished first in the worst match poll. It got 414 votes. Second place was the cage match with only 37. So the Observer readers didn't like this one too much. Dave gave these matches 3/4 of a star, half star, and 1 1/4 and 1 3/4 stars in order for the gauntlet in each of those matches respectively. But overall, seriously, not bad.
Yes, there's definitely been worse on a WrestleMania. I didn't hate it. It was a nice little transition to get us into the rest of the show here. And our next match was Seth Rollins versus Cesaro, and I was genuinely excited for this match. Seth Rollins music hits, and we don't even have a promo video for this match. I was super surprised that they didn't start with the video package. And really weird to hear Seth Rollins without the crowd singing along. It's really weird here.
Yeah, you're right about that.
So as Seth is making his way down to the ring, we finally get this promo video, and it's just the video from SmackDown where he buries Cesaro that we talked about a few weeks ago.
This ad has been paid for by friends of Seth Rollins and is in no way directly associated with Seth Rollins himself.
That'll get you hyped for this match. Let's just bury Cesaro while we're down it.
Yeah, there you go. So Cesaro comes out. We get the video of Cesaro swinging Rollins 22 times. Cole reminds us that it's Cesaro's first singles match in a WrestleMania, which is a crazy stat. These two both are really good, but it feels like they weren't on the same page for a little bit at the beginning. Seth starts hitting his big spots, buckle bomb, and then the superplex into the Falcon Arrow. And then once that happened, dude, match turned around. Everything looked great.
Here at WrestleMania, and a superplex. Rollins now floats through into the Falcon Arrow.
That Falcon Arrow might be the most crispest Falcon Arrow he's ever done in his career. The transition into it, it couldn't have been any better done.
And because Cesaro's a pro, dude. He's good.
Cesaro starts his comeback with a backslide and then about 24 uppercuts. Yeah. He's selling his arm and then he's throwing uppercuts with it. And then he hits a big lariat with it. He then gets up after Seth kicks out for 2, and he then doesn't sell it at all.
Yeah, that took me out of it just a little bit. You know what I mean? Arms hurting, and then I'm going to use it all these times, get a near fall and go, ah!
Yeah. He goes for the swing for a few times, but Seth is able to counter out of it because of the arm. And so Seth then goes for the stomp, but Cesaro counters that, and he puts him right into the swing. And the sequence was really, really good. He only gets a total of 9 swings. He puts Seth down. He puts him into the sharpshooter, but Seth gets to the ropes.
Yeah, Seth hits a corkscrew frog splash for a near fall. I thought that was an awesome spot. Cesaro then gets a neutralizer for a near fall. And again, I didn't really like how it started, but they are cooking at this point in time. We then get a neutralizer counted into a pedigree, and the crowd is really getting into it now.
We then get the stomp into an uppercut and into a no arms airplane spin into 23 spins into a neutralizer, and Cesaro gets the pin. And I thought that this was a really solid match. It wasn't quite as good as the opener, but I'm giving this 3 3/4 stars.
3 3/4 for me, borderline 4.
Right. I want to give it 4, but it started a little slow.
And that's exactly it. The start was a little clunky, a little disjointed, but it finished absolutely awesome. Meltzer said that the crowd reaction at the end blew away anything else on the show as far as a match goes. He gave it 4 stars. And this match actually finished second in the best match poll in the Observer. We then go to a Dirty Dogs promo and totally skippable. Yeah. You can move on.
So our next match is one that we were both excited for. It is the New Day versus AJ and the debuting Omos. And Big E on the mic introduces the New Day. This was great. I love the New Day's Tampa Bay Bucks gear. And they crossed out the 2020, which was a really nice touch.
Yeah, dude, they're always great with gear, especially Mania gear. So Omos comes out in an overshirt and jeans and a button-up. Like, dude, he's going to wrestle and then go out for drinks.
He has better than the going out shirt on right now.
Without question. And then AJ comes out, he does his stuff at the entrance, and he almost blows out his groin or his knee. How terrible this could have been had AJ have gone down right there.
You want to know what's funny is that AJ had this spot, and we're going to talk about AJ in the next WrestleMania, where he almost cuts his face off on the stage with the set. He had back-to-back Mania mess-ups on the stage. I just can't get over Omos's fit. He's got the gold rope chain. He's 9 feet tall. Omos is going to start the match, but Kofi goads AJ into coming in first. AJ and Kofi start by going a million miles an hour, and I thought that this was a great start.
Yeah, later on, dude, we need to steal the spot. When we tag up and we hit the ring, we got to steal the trombone twerk spot. Yeah, I can play the trombone while you twerk in the ring, or vice versa, whichever you're more comfortable with. But I thought that was awesome. Xavier tags in, he gets AJ to chin lock, and he screams,
"Stay away from Omos."
Indeed, isolated in their corner and far away from
cutting the ring in half.
And I died. He just said psychology out loud, dude.
In this entire match is heel AJ just getting worked over by the babyface New Day, and they are trying to squeeze every minute out of this without getting Omos involved. It was hilarious. Xavier gets perched onto the top rope, and AJ finally gets the hot tag to Omos.
Omos is straight out of 1987, dude, and I absolutely love it. It's just power moves and deep voice yelling.
Pressure on the spine of Woods.
AJ hit Woods with a phenomenal forearm off of Omos' shoulders, which was awesome. Omos then picks up Kofi for about 30 feet in the air. He slams him, pins him with one boot on the chest, and I gave this 3 stars.
I love Omos, dude. I'm biased, so this is an easy 3 for me. Dave said Omos's offense consisted of a backbreaker and the claw. He gave it 2 1/4. He's wrong. I thought this was great.
Our next match is Shane versus Braun in the steel cage match, and this promo package was great. The quotes here with Braun saying that, "What does Shane have against me?" And Shane saying, "You're stupid." And then they show Braun in a dunce cap in his report card with all D's on it. I couldn't help but laugh, but like, what are we doing? Special guest commentator is Jerry Lawler, and thank God we got the King out here for this.
Yeah, and Braun does look great. Like, I got to give him that. When he comes out, dude, he's in great shape.
He's stupid.
This is true. You're right. Braun gets attacked by Elias and Jackson Riker with chairs before the match. The bell rings, and Shane is just waiting on Braun with the chair. And I feel like every time we see Braun Strowman right now, he's just getting beat to death with chairs.
That's because the last time we saw him, he was getting beat to death by Roman at the Payback show.
Just breathing so heavy.
Oh, go check that out on the channel if you're new here. Shane tried to walk out of the cage like 30 seconds in, and I would have did the same thing if I was him. He's throwing all of these punches, and Braun's organs, they have to be sand at this point because we all know the potatoes that Shane throws.
Yeah, Shane lays those in.
So Shane takes all kinds of wicked bumps. He gets thrown into the cage 1,000 times, and Braun goes for a power slam, but the leg gives out, and Shane nails a dancing DDT. I thought we were in 1999 again.
Like only Shane can, right? Speaking of, he then hits coast to coast. Dude still got it. So we move on, and you can feel a lake with Shane's sweat as we get on in this match, dude. Yeah. Riker and Elias climbed the cage, and then they took a bump after Braun ran into it. I thought that was an awesome spot. Yeah. Later on, Shane's at the top, and he pulls out a toolbox out of a bag just at the top of the cage, and then he bopped Braun with it like whack-a-mole. Dude, dude, that's my favorite spot of 2021 so far.
I'm tired of seeing the toolbox spot, but this one popped me huge. I loved it.
It was the originator, dude. Yeah. You never beat the first.
So Shane is waving at Braun through the cage. Braun runs up. He grabs his hand. He rips the cage apart. He pulls Shane back in. He starts wailing on him, and that was awesome. Braun and Shane are now at the top of the cage. Braun is just pouring so much sweat. Dude, there's so much sweat in there with both of these dudes. And dude, Shane takes a flip bump off the top of the cage, and Braun screamed,
"Oh my God!"
Yeah, well, Braun is stupid for not just climbing out of the cage and winning the match, if you ask me.
Dude,
but thankfully, the beating continues, and he picks him up, hits the power slam, gets the win. At least it didn't go on and on. If we had like 8 more minutes of match after that, I'd have been like, Braun, there's your report card, brah. But I thought this was awesome. It was what it needed to be. 3.5 stars for me. What do you say, John?
I'm giving it 3 stars. Dave gave this one 1.5 stars. Come on, Dave. But I thought this was exactly what it should have been as well. I loved it.
Yeah, agree. So we move on to the Hall of Fame segment. JBL, Jushin Thunder Liger, the Bellas, British Bulldog, William Shatner, and the NWO are all inducted. And we move on to our semi-main event, which is The Miz and Morrison versus Bad Bunny and Damien Priest.
And Booker T is a special guest announcer for this match, and we just get a bunch of bunnies coming down to the ring. And like, what am I watching? Is Adam Rose coming out? And you know Vince is just sitting in the back like, I love bunnies, pal. And then Miz and Morrison come out.
Bad little pieces of crap, but you don't got the crap.
They don't even know the words to their own song that they made. Like, just leave it to the Miz. I'm totally done with them. I was out on this match as soon as that happened.
I skipped right through them rapping because I can. Like once I saw them with microphones, I was boop, 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 boop. So the promo video that we got for this match was longer than the world title one, and I just want to know, why is there so much Miz on this show?
Yes.
I love good geek Miz. I can't handle serious superstar Miz, and we got a lot of it here, bro.
God for Judgment Day for Priest, because this Archer gimmick is a total miss for me. But Bad Bunny, he comes to the ring in an 18-wheeler for some reason, and the match starts, and he just gets goaded into starting it. And we are all Bad Bunny with that shot to Mrs. Jaw.
Yeah, that was a heck of a start, dude. Bad Bunny gets the mount, and then we get the full Kevin Dunn experience with the camera cuts. And then as this is going on, I'm like, this is the same match that I just saw with AJ and Omos. Like, we are just waiting to get the giant tagged in. Priest finally gets the hot tag, and if he would have came in, hit South of Heaven and got the pin, it literally would have been the same match that AJ and Omos had over New Day. But thankfully, we got more than that.
Yeah, thankfully. Stereo Falcon arrows to Bad Bunny's high cross to the outside was awesome. After Drew lost and when Miz hit the skull crushing finale, I was worried.
Yeah, because they ain't scared to be baby faces right here. Like,
but the commentary was insufferable with all these Bunny references. But then Bunny hit a destroyer to Morrison, and then Priest put Miz up in the electric chair, and Bad Bunny hit a crossbody for the pin. I totally get why they had Miz and Morrison out there, because they are good hands, but this was totally fine. 2.5 stars for me.
I thought this was way better than it could have or even should have been. And I was really impressed with Bunny. Even on the rewatch, he not only did moves, but he did a lot of selling. And for that, I tip my cap. 3 stars for me. Dave actually gave this one 3.5 stars, dude. And this match finished 3rd in best match poll in the Observer.
Holy cow, I can't believe that. It is main event time. It is Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks for the SmackDown Women's Championship. The intro package, well done, but I do think that they're beating us over the head a little too much with the babyface stuff here.
I'll get to it because I love it, but go ahead.
So Sasha is just the best heel. I love this package. Splicing in Bianca just training was so awesome for any babyface, but this felt like a main event package. This was a great job by production.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I got to say, dude, I love Bianca Belair. Like, I really do. And I'm biased. And it's probably because my kid does. And maybe that is why I like her so much, because an 8-year-old can dance and party and just be all into this woman that is a legit athlete. And she's an incredible performer, dude. She takes the business so seriously. Matches are always great. And again, like, I would rather my daughter be like, this girl's awesome, than, you know, and no disrespect to anybody in like the late 90s or into the diva era, but like, this girl's a real athlete, man. And it's really, really cool to see my young one get all excited for that, which really gives Bianca a soft spot for me.
Right.
Sasha comes out and Cole tells us that she was in the first ever Iron Woman match, the first women's Hell in a Cell, first ever women's tag team champion. And now she is the first Black woman to main event a singles WrestleMania match. Some stuff for her, dude.
These two crying before they lock up is an all-time moment. Like, it really is. And Sasha being the cagey vet while Bianca has her explosiveness. That roll through the crossbody where Bianca picked her up over her head and walked up the steps. That was awesome.
Yeah, and Sasha's presence in the ring, it's next level. She's the best heel. Sasha's getting heat with an arm lock. Bianca is perfect in peril, and she still has the speed and the strength, and she's showing little splips of that over and over again, starting these mini comebacks. And then Sasha uses the hair to post Bianca, and then Sasha took a nasty missed meteor into the boards. So Sasha Banks is a heel. Mercedes Moné, next level, dude, because she bumps around too. And that's what makes a great heel. Not only the presence, but she will throw herself all over the place. I love it.
Bianca, once again, with this vertical suplex spot, she's just so insanely strong. And this was really smart to showcase that in this match. And it doesn't really matter that Sasha weighs 100 pounds. Like, that's just still impressive to be able to put her down, pick her back up, put her down, pick her back up again. Like, it was really impressive.
Yeah, and Bianca's comeback then, the running shooting star, spear into the turnbuckle, goes for a 450 splash. She then eats Sasha's knees. We then get a double powerbomb by Bianca into a neck bridge by Sasha, into an X Factor by Sasha. This was prime stuff, man. Mania main event stuff.
Yes, and Sasha switching from Meteora to Frog Splash in midair was the first and maybe the only thing in this match that didn't look crisp.
But it made sense.
Yes.
It made sense. That's what was cool about it.
Right. And Sasha getting desperate with the arm breaker, with the Irish whip into the steps. They got back in, and Sasha uses Bianca's hair to wrap her into a bank statement. Like, that was a very innovative way to use Bianca's hair against her.
Comes into play later on, which is this is very well laid out. So Sasha gets Bianca into the tree of woe. She misses the stomp and then hits the turnbuckle a million miles an hour as Bianca climbs up out of that. And then Bianca finally hits that 450, but Sasha kicks out.
And then we get some counters and that hair whip. Oh man, was that wild. The snap that it made was insanity. What a finishing sequence that we had to this match. Bianca wins with the KOD. What a match. What an ending. Bianca is bursting into tears, and that, with like her family nearly jumping over the barricade in pure joy, felt like a WrestleMania moment. And the wild thing about this, it was only like 15 minutes.
True. What do you rate it, brother?
Even this one, 4 stars easily. Easy a 4-star match.
When this happened, like in 2021, the next day, I literally made my daughter sit with me and watch it at like 8 a.m. because I thought it was that good of a match. And I want her to see women do awesome things. And to me, this was an awesome thing. And rewatching it, her and Mrs. Mongoose were into this rewatch.
Wow.
So you know it's good when you draw in the total casuals. To me, this is an all-timer. Like it's in the same vein as your Hogan Rock, Hogan Warrior, where it's not the best match you're ever going to see.
Yeah.
But moment-wise, I think it's, and the work in this match is great too. Don't get me wrong. 4.5 for me, dude. Easy. Like, I love it. I could rewatch this match once a month for the rest of my life. Won best match in the Observer poll. Dave gave it 4 stars, and I thought that this was an incredible ending to a solid night 1 of WrestleMania. What do you think, John?
Definitely a night 1 WrestleMania, and I'm super excited because I know what's coming up in night 2 of WrestleMania, and that is exactly what we're going to be doing here next week on the channel. If you are new here to the channel, make sure you come back next week to see the finale of WrestleMania 37. We are going to cover the show as a whole, but we're really going to get back to our bread and butter, which is focusing on the Bloodline, the triple threat between Roman Reigns, Edge, and Daniel Bryan for the Universal Championship. I cannot wait for this match. We have a lot of other stuff on that show too, so make sure you come back next week. And with that, I'm Johnny Bake Show.
I'm Teddy Mongoose.
And we just called it in the ring.